Warning, the following content is spicy. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey folks, Phil Gallagher, ThrabenU here. Uh, I don't know where to start. Kevin K originally submitted me a wild deck list. So Kevin sent me this list that was an instant speed Dinosaur Reanimator Flicker Mutate deck. And asked me if I could make it work. And I said, I can make something work. But there was too much in this deck list. So I kept the core idea of instant speed Dinosaur Reanimator intact and tried to put together something that had a critical density of dinosaurs and like ways to reanimate. So the core game plan here is to get a Gishath Sun's avatar into play. So this is a 7/6 Vigilance Trample Haster, lots of keywords here. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you reveal that many cards from the top of your library and put any dinosaur cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest onto the bottom of your library in a random order. So, our god draw is turn 1, Thoughtseize ourselves, put this thing into the graveyard. Turn 2, Goryo's Vengeance, get to attack with our 7/6er, drop the top 10 cards of our library, or sorry, the top 7 cards into our library into play as long as they're dinosaurs, okay? So, this is the dream. Generally speaking, we're using a shell that is more or less like the Esper Reanimator shell. So we have the Faithful Mendings to get cards into the graveyards, and then we have Goryo's Vengeance and this Priest to get them into play. Legacy players, you probably haven't seen this one. It's pretty good. So you pay 3 life and sacrifice this to reanimate a card from your graveyard at sorcery speed, and it also has Unearth. So the kind of neat thing here is that we have Unmarked Grave to search our library for a non-legendary card. So this is an entomb for a non-legendary creature. Now, unfortunately, a bunch of the good modern legal dinosaurs are legendary creatures, but there are some big, dumb, fat creatures that we can tutor up that way, or we can use that to find an Unearth or Unburial Rites. As far as other ways to get things into the graveyard, Rotting Regisaur is a castable dinosaur, and we can use that to discard other dinosaurs in order to reanimate them. Okay, as far as the supporting cast here, as far as these dinosaurs go, it's a little weird because you don't want too many of the same legendary creature because you know they're legendary, and you want to hit multiple different dinosaurs. So I have 2 Ghaltas. I have 2 Terrasques because, one Terrasque clearly isn't enough, right? Absolute D&D memes here abound. Unfortunately, a bunch of the Terrasque's best abilities only work if you cast it. C'est la vie. I have included 1 breeding pool in the mana base so that I can actually cycle these in some opportunities. I thought about getting cuter than that and playing a Yavimaya so that I could actually, in some theoretical worlds, cast some of this stuff, but I figured, that might just be too cute, and I should just, get the green source that's fetchable. As far as the sideboard goes, I kind of took a bunch of, typical stock Espery things and then added in 1 Patriarch's Bidding, because it would be super cute to reanimate all of my dinosaurs at the same time, and, that would be winning Twitter screenshot of the day, right? It's a competition, and I think that would do it. Get 5 dinosaurs from my graveyard with a Patriarch's Bidding. Absolute unit Patriarch Bidding. Okay. I have no idea how this league is going to go. I built and rebuilt this deck 5 different times. I think you can go into some sort of red-based build with some of the other discard options that are in red and try to do some Jund ramp sort of thing, but then you lose out on Faithful Mending and the Priest if you try to go Jund. If you have thoughts on color combinations for this, let me know. I'm going to hop right into the match, and hopefully I do some fun things for you all. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more sweet deck lists like this one, and if you're a regular, throw me a like or a comment. Those are the sorts of things that support me for free. Let's do this. Okay. I am going to keep this hand. I am not entirely sure how I am going to play this hand yet, in that I have an insane number of options. We're playing against what is presumably Hammer Time here. So disrupting my opponent with this Thoughtseize is probably more important than anything else here. So maybe I go Marsh Flat, Swamp, Thoughtseize my opponent to start off. Okay. Swamp, I like that Swamp. Thoughtseize you. Okay, Lurrus makes this awkward. I might randomly die if I don't take the Colossus Hammer. I'm just gonna take it. Like, it's a do-nothing card in a lot of circumstances here. But I think I just can't take the risk. Like, I'll take my 1 this turn. I was about to say followed by 3, but it looks like it's followed by 4 instead. And my opponent will work towards Lurrus, unfortunately. Alright. So let's grab a Plains for the Priest. And then next turn, I can play Unmarked Grave and get an 11/11. Or I can cast Faithful Mending and work towards that as well. The Colossus Hammer is just going to, like, outpace what I do in a very awkward way here. So, like, this is going to put Lurrus in hand, and the next turn I could be looking at, like, Lurrus into Colossus Hammer. Get a Terrasque. Oh, no, I can't tutor the Terrasque. I have to tutor the 11/11. Oh. I can also just, like, not be dumb, right? And just do this. Yeah, I cannot be dumb and just do this and Thoughtseize the Lurrus. I was so busy thinking with portals that I just, like, almost missed the obvious here. And then I think I will go ahead and shock. I'll cast the Mending. Oh, baby. Yes. I'll discard the Terrasque and the Rex. Oh, we're getting a Terrasque. We're absolutely getting a Terrasque here. Okay. Mission success. We have put a Terrasque into play on turn 3 while disrupting my opponents twice. Absolutely here for it. I'm so happy when the brews work, like game 1, round 1. That always just, like, fills me with joy. It's D&D. Can't be blocked except by creatures with haste this turn. Sure, that's fine. I'll eat that damage. Like, I can cast Faithful Mendings to just, like, keep increasing my life total here. Flashback on this is 5. Flashback on that is 5. I can, like, play a Faithful Mending this turn. The tax on it. Alright, let's attack with this Terrasque. And I am just gonna eat the Pure Steel Paladin here. There's some, like, world where I eat the Esper Sentinel instead, but I can just, like, pay for this tax right now. Does Terrasque trample? No. I'm gonna cast the 1 from hand and pay the tax on it. That's fine with me. Yes. So I'll just discard creature, unmarked grave, and start making my land drops here. And we'll call that good. So next turn, I've got, like, Unearth the Priest if I want. And I think I will be able to, like, outpace my opponent's stuff here. They have to leave back multiple blockers. That's fine. I go to 8. Okay. Do I want to... how does this card work? Sacrifice it for 3 mana to gain the life. I can return an 11/11 Trampler pretty easily at the cost of some life, or I can just keep gaining life. I think I'm just going to go ahead and bash on in here. I'll use this to destroy this Ornithopter. And then my opponent will block with the Ginger Brute and sacrifice it. Okay, there we go. You can take your life. That's fine. So I think I will just keep gaining life here. I think this Terrasque just wins me the game. As long as, like, it doesn't randomly leave play, which I think would be hard to do. Alright. Cool. Totally happy with another one of those. I'll just discard 2 lands here. Make my land drop. Call it a turn. And then next turn I can, like, unmark grave and play the priest or something like that. What does this do? Thatch target. Ah, shit. And that is 12 damage and I die. That is a shame. Okay. Say la vie. I could have paid 3 life to return an 11/11 in play. I would have chump blocked. My opponent would have left 2 things back. Alright, I mean, my opponent's 2 cards had to be basically those, right? I've not seen the core outfitter before from these decks. Okay. How much interaction do I want here? Like, Teferi Ending and Kataki are reasonable cards that I can play. My opponent is making their 11/11 card much more mana efficiently than I am, unfortunately. Lurrus allows them to bring their stuff back. I don't know how much stuff I get to cut here. Let's assume I can probably cut a creature and my most expensive piece of interaction. Maybe I don't thoughts. The Thoughtseize is good on myself, though. Like, I legit don't know how much I'm supposed to sideboard here. Like, Kataki's fine, but not insane. I think Prismatic Ending is actively good since it exiles. Go down 1 Unmarked Grave. Try this. I just, like, this is my first match with this deck, obviously, right? So, like, I don't know how quickly some of this stuff plays out. Okay. I can turn 1, Thoughtseize myself, turn 2, Priest, turn 3, have an 11/11 Trampler. Turn 3, 11/11 Trampler is solid. Yes. Is, like, not the best hand in the world. It hurts me a lot to do this. But I don't know. It's a realistic path to a victory. We'll see how it plays out. Okay. Alright, you have a hammer. So maybe Pure Steel Paladin is in my future. I think if I am going to win this game, I need to set myself up in a position where I can actually do the reanimation next turn. Like, if I can reanimate and play a Thoughtseize next turn, that's very good. Like, there's some world where I absolutely get got by an insane sequence of cards here. That would be one of them. How have I never, like, seen this card in this deck before? I will have an 11/11 to their 12/12, unfortunately. Just, like, not really gonna cut it, huh? They also get the first attack step. F. How do I win? I don't win by reanimating this. I think I have to wait a turn. So if I take 12, I go to 4. That leaves me at 1 effective life. I think I'm going to play a Hallowed Fountain tap, pass the turn, and hope to find, like, a prismatic ending or a way to get a more threatening creature into the graveyard here. Opponent's deck is strong. Yep, that's not a problem immediately, but it's a problem. This core outfitter is absolutely wrecking my shit right now. I go to 4. Another Thoughtseize. That's not what I'm looking for. So I can chump block for 1 turn. Alright, this doesn't trample. Doesn't trample. Yuck, though. Without, like, the most insane of insane, what is it, Faithful Mendings off the top of my library, I don't think I have any outs. That's fine. Okay. Alright, another Pure Steel, that's fine. I guess the Pure Steel Paladin also just gets to, like, get in here. And, I go to 2, meaning that, like, a Priest flashback is off the table. Yeah, I don't know what I'm playing towards here, but it's not that. Alright, GG's. Okay. I'm gonna assume that I am supposed to keep this hand with multiple Faithful Mendings and a reanimation target already. Like, I have a decent number of things that I can put into play here. Oh, alright. We're doing that. Is this fetch a tapped land or just play one of the Hallowed Fountains? And apparently I have different arts for them. Get a tapped black source here. Alright. Feel like I'm getting junded. I'm gonna eat 2 here. More so than the damage, I'm just concerned about my opponent having the mana rock. That's a thing. I really would have liked that draw. Although I guess I wouldn't have gotten it because I'm shuffling anyway. Okay. Sure. I mean, that's a cute way to use your Ragavan mana. You've just, like, turned it into more permanent mana. That Goyf is gonna get big real fast. Real fast. Grab a Watery Grave, I guess. And see where this goes. I am going to want to cast Faithful Mending as an instant because of this Tarmogoyf. Am I just getting planes with this? Probably. That's probably fine. Or there is a world where I want to use it for Breeding Pool for cycling, but I think I'm just discarding those things with Faithful Mending anyway, so like it's kind of moot. I guess I do want to batch so this Ragavan doesn't hit my one of planes. It becomes awkward if my opponent is playing like Stone Rain type effects. I don't know exactly what my opponent's. Fuck me. God fucking damn it. Yeah, so I'm not explicitly tired of Ragavan in the Yeah? Yeah, okay. Alright. That's bad. Yeah, okay. I discard these. I get mooned. And I have one swamp to draw towards, right? Yeah, exactly one swamp to draw towards to do anything. That's cool. Yeah, that's totally fine. Alright. At least my death will be swift. But like even without the Blood Moon, my opponent hitting my 7/6 with Ragavan would have been like enough bullshit that I would have died. Like that would have left me at 2 this turn. Assuming they could do something else about my stuff. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer. Sure. Okay. Oh, a Stomp was cast in there that I just like totally missed while they were doing the Seasoned Pyromancer stuff. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm dead. I guess I want Prismatic Endings for Ragavans. I can try to play something like a Teferi in order to bounce a Blood Moon, but that requires me to have like both blue and white. I don't know how realistic that is. Let's maybe do the same thing where I cut one of each of my top ends and cut a Thoughtseize. I don't know. Maybe I should cut more Thoughtseizes, but they're the thing that lets me do one of my most broken lines. Maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I'll cut one more ending for a Thoughtseize. I'm not sure about these Teferis. Alright. So I can get 2 of my basics, play Faithful Mending, discard these 2 cards, and then be looking for a reanimation way. That's not terrible. Also not great. I want to mulligan and just, like, try to get a better feel for what some of these other hands can look like. Yeah, this is a better hand. I will absolutely keep this. So I'll pitch 1 unmarked grave here. I'm gonna just, like, try to hold off on this whole Flooded Strand thing, like, selecting what land I get with this Flooded Strand for a while. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play the Courtyard and pass. Sure. My mana is just super fucking awkward here, because, like, I have this sorcery speed answer to a Ragavan. So, like, I can either choose to answer that or take a hit from it, which is kind of disastrous. So I probably just have to do this and take it out of the way. I'm going to play a tapped Breeding Pool here. But, like, because the Ragavan is so detrimental, I just have to answer it, meaning that I can't play my stuff on curve. Which just makes my life just terribly, terribly awkward. Oh, your Arbor Elf is fine. Like, if that's the best you got, I can, I guess playing the Breeding Pool tapped last turn means that I can't double spell this turn either, huh? That was a mistake. Okay, I can unmarked Grave. What am I getting with Flooded Strand? I can get a Plains. Yeah, I guess I can get a Plains and try to work towards being more Blood Moon resistant. Just a little awkward. Like, I don't want to sequence this way. Alright, which one of these creatures do I want here? I guess it's just the 11/11. I don't get to fish out the legendary ones. I mean, the 11/11 should be fine if my opponent is just working with, like, lightning bolt type removals, and especially if they're stuck on lands. That's pretty okay. So let's do this. And I can Faithful Mending at instant speed on my opponent's turn if I want to. I'm not sure that I do, because my mana is awkward right now. Okay, my opponent's just conceding to the 11/11. Alright, we have to answer Ragavan on the draw now, which means having a Prismatic Ending in the opening hand. That's fine. Do I want Teferi as well on the draw? I don't think so. Like, I had the Teferi in mind more for things like, say, an Ensnaring Bridge that I otherwise just, like, physically cannot beat. So currently, in order to get something into the graveyard with this hand, I would have to, like, take a card to hand and just physically discard to hand size. I don't think that's acceptable. I'm gonna mulligan. The Prismatic Ending hands are just so much better than anything else here. This hand doesn't do anything. I will go to 5. This is a Prismatic Ending. Yeah, this is a very good hand, actually. Okay. So, am I keeping this Prismatic Ending? Or am I thought seizing myself and going for the Goryo's Vengeance on turn 2? I mean, we all agree that I just YOLO this, right? Like, we all agree? We all agree that I came here to do the thing for entertainment and not the, like, tournament correct play of keeping the Prismatic Ending to answer the Ragavan that's going to beat me? Okay, good. I'm glad we've established that. Hey, that doesn't cast Ragavan. Harbor Elf is fine. See if I just get, like, Blood Mooned or something. Alright. Land. Thought sees me. Discard my dinosaur. Don't Blood Moon me. See how it goes. Okay, that's a forest. That doesn't cast Blood Moon. That could cast Blood Moon. Okay. The opponent gets to untap it. They're up to 4 mana. Oh god. Karn gets Tormod's Crypt. Shit. Wait, is Tormod's Crypt legal? It must be. That card's been printed in Standard a bunch of times, yeah. A little disappointing. Yeah. Okay, there it goes. My dreams. My hopes. Everything. So I guess I'll try to do it again via like Faithful Mending. I'll cast that on my opponent's turn. I don't think I get to beat this Karn like this early in the game. I mulled to 5 and had like a effective turn 2 win. It was snatched away from me. My sadness is infinite. Okay, what is this doing? I know what the Legacy Tutor board looks like. I don't know what the Modern Tutor board looks like. They don't get to just Mycosynth Lattice anymore. Alright, it's just Liquid Metal Coating. I mean, that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, sure. God damn it. I mean, Liquid Metal Coating plus Karn at this point is game over. Like, I have to get blue if I want a Faithful Mending, and then I'm just, like, locked out. I think I can go ahead and concede here. We're not beating this deck. GG's. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? You are? Great. That's good. Some of you out there, you're not. You're watching my content? The algorithm is just feeding me to you, and that's fine too. But if you want to find me again, consider subscribing. Okay, back to the show. Okay, I'm on the play here. I have an awkward hand in that if I draw a land, I can play turn 3 Regisaur into turn 4 Goryo's Vengeance for this thing, and like attack for 14 on turn 4. And if I don't draw the land, this hand does a whole lot of nothing. I think I just still keep it. But like, there's some risk here that I just kind of end up doing nothing with this. This Marsh Flats has to get me a blue land of some kind. Sure. Let's just go ahead and fetch a tapped land here. Maybe a Watery Grave. Don't need to pay the life. Okay. Not what I'm looking for. I guess I just play my land. Play the Unmarked Grave. This will put a creature in my graveyard. I don't think I want the Unburial Rites right now. Let's just put an 11/11 in my graveyard. You know, for like safekeeping. Pop that out. My opponent will then like probably fetch it. Oh, I thought it was going to be a Steam Vents. It is not a Steam Vents. I wonder if we're playing a pseudo mirror and my opponent just like has the version with like solitudes and stuff. Okay. Sorry, Reggie. You're probably like about to get countered or some shit, but gotta do what I gotta do. Oh, Reggie didn't get countered. Good job, little buddy. Reggie, would you like to find me a land at the end of turn? Oh, nope. Discard a card, then draw a card. Rebound. Ooh. Arclight Phoenix. Opponent is also a degenerate playing with the graveyard. I respect it. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna get to do the thing. Like discard Gishath. Gishath? Gishath. Gishath? Where is the syllable break? Gishath? Gishath? I don't know. I'm going to discard the sun's avatar here and just bring down the power of the sun on my opponent. Like, hopefully, like, making a Terrasque or some shit in the process as well. Okay. Bottom with Serum Visions. Alright, there's a Faithful Mending. That's Salvaging, Serum Visions, Faithful Mending. That is 3 spells, which is what Arclight Phoenix does care about. So my opponent will get that back. Ooh, a Demi-Lich. So that's not free yet. Okay, my opponent has left back the Phoenix. That's fine. I'm gonna throw this back. Oh, Terrasque, you were in the wrong spot. All right. Oh, Splice is a thing. I'm not there, but I'm just gonna like keep that in mind for later. All right. So I'm gonna Goryo's Vengeance back this sucker. All right, this is it. This is my moment. Now, my opponent can block some of this, right? Like, they can throw this in front of Gishath and, Gishath, I don't know. They can throw this in front of the multicolored dinosaur and block some of this from getting in there. Oh, they just block the Regisaur. I guess, like, they want to block all 7 damage. That's reasonable. All right, baby, here we go. It's slot machine time. Oh, yeah. Am I willing to put 2 Regisaurs onto the battlefield? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, so I have to exile this. So then what I'll do is in my upkeep, I'll discard the Terrasque and Gishath. Gishath? I don't know. Gishath? And then like cast my Goryo's Vengeance at instant speed to return Gishath again. Or maybe the Terrasque if I'm feeling spicy. Like if my opponent has a blocker, I'll return the Terrasque. But like we've done the thing. We have done the thing that I set out to do, which is fantastic. I guess I should pop out my opponent's graveyard. It's pretty important right now. So 1 Phoenix, 1 Demi-Lich. What is this? Okay, it is another salvaging. That's fine. Like, opponent's got to do a lot to stay alive through the bullshit that I've got cooked up for next turn. Yeah, Gut Shot is fine. Gut Shot is fine. So my opponent can cast these Demi-Liches. I guess there's 3 of them. That's pretty legit. How? By exiling 4 instant or sorcery cards. Sure. So they can only get 3 of those here. So I assume that's just going to be the end of their turn, right? Yeah. Okay. So I will discard Gishath. I don't know. I will discard the Terrasque. I will cast Goryo's Vengeance, just confirming this does give haste. I will do that on the Terrasque. And then I don't have to discard a card to Reggie number 3. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Leyline of the Void sounds fantastic. Chalice of the Void on 1 is acceptable, but I maybe don't need to do that. I'm gonna cut this. Go the Unburial Rites out here. I might, like, need to be able to unmarked grave for that in this matchup. In some cases, like the life total might be relevant. So I think I'll do that. And I need to cut 2 more. Thoughtseize is not great versus my opponent, but it's very good on me. I think I don't cut those. I don't know. If I'm not cutting that, that probably means I cut 1 unmarked grave, which means Unburial Rites isn't like in there. Probably don't get to cut 2 reanimation things. Maybe I cut 2 unmarked graves. Okay, I'll buy that. This hand is relatively disruptive for my opponent and can put some things into graveyard and maybe just cast a Regisaur. I think a Leyline hand is better than this hand, though. I think I'm going to just mulligan this. That is a Leyline hand with multiple 7/6 threats. This is fine. I'm going to keep this and throw away one of those Titans. Titanoth Rex. So I'll just want to get Breeding Pool with the Flooded Strand on turn 1. Unless something like drastically changes. Yeah, this can just get Breeding Pool. And then I can cycle that thing on turn 2. Take your tapped land. Absolutely good with that. This league is wild. What is this? Consider? Consider. Okay. Yep. Okay, sure. So then I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my Breeding Pool now. Yeah. There's like some very specific draws where that can become awkward, but I think as a whole, it's just fine. Yeah, so I'll just play this now. I'll cycle this on my opponent's end step, and then I'll just like play a Regisaur into a Regisaur and just like hope that that beats my opponent. Like my opponent's backup plan is potentially just like a handful of burn spells going at my dome, and and killing me with Arclight Phoenix and Demi-Lich hardcasts, which should be pretty beatable. Okay. Opponent has looted through some looting spells. Guess there's also a world where I save the Rex in order to put a trample counter on one of these Regisaurs. That's like not crazy, right? What is this? Anamorphose. Sure. Okay. Sure. Like I'm not super scared of like a Demi-Lich that just gets played. Like this thing's ability is that you can exile instants and sorceries from your graveyard and copy it, and without an active graveyard, like that's not a real ability. That's a vanilla 4/3. And that's totally fine with me. Okay. Combo incoming. If my opponent were to do something like Blood Moon me, I don't think they're going to, given their mana base here. But if that was going to happen, I would really want a basic swamp. I'm going to accordingly fetch basic swamp here. And then my good friend Reginald is going to come out to play. My opponent might have like surgicals, so like that's something that I need to be aware of. 3 mana. Ashiok. This is not an issue for me, right? Like I just discard this creature on my turn and then like use the Goryo's Vengeance. Totally fine with that. Discard this. All right, it's a priest. Or just go with them. Probably just go with them. Surgical Extraction is a reason to not play this here and to just like play the other Goryos, but this is so sweet if it works. I guess it's like I've committed by discarding this, right? Let's do it. Okay. I will absolutely just send these at my opponent, and we'll see what they do. Path. Rats. Yes, I'll use this ability. I will grab my planes. Is Demi-Lich chump blocking? No. That's fine with me. So, like, I still have a lethal threat on board. Ashiok's not anywhere near killing me. Like, I can take 8 pretty easily, like, with an Arclight Phoenix coming in off a hard cast. Without a Leyline getting bounced or something, it's hard for me to take much more than that. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, clear my graveyard. Yeah, and they're still just holding back. Probably just discard the Mending here. Ah, a Goryo's Vengeance. Sure. Send old Reggie in at my opponent here. Ooh. Consider is fine. Okay, a Faithful Mending goes to exile. Another path. Another path's good. I think that's all my basics, right? Yes. Don't really want to flash this back. I'll just play another Reggie. Wait, hold on. Oh, spells and abilities your opponents control. So I could search because of my opponent controlling the ability. Okay. Yep. You can junk that card. I don't super care here. Sure. Okay, 2 mana. So it's another loot. Oh, it's a Metamorphose. Sure. White red. Oh, do you also have the white red like discard 2, draw 3 one in there? I haven't seen that yet. Okay. So I will probably just go ahead and discard the Goryos here. It's not really doing anything right now. Okay. This is a dead card currently. Let's send this at my opponent here. And see if we're to chump block territory. We are to chump block territory. Okay, cool. So I will play a priest here. And I am going to play this land and just not crack it. My opponent's under a lot of pressure here. Like, even just 2 hits with the priest is lethal. Like, just like totally discounting its ability as well to just reanimate stuff. A lightning bolt. Gut shot me. Okay, sure. You can rebound this card. That gets them a card, which is why they wanted to just like use the gut shot and get it out of their hand. That's fine. All right, you got blockers over there. You got an answer to Regisaur. All right, you've got a blocker. Okay, guard nothing here. Unmarked Grave is almost good. Okay. I'm going to send this at them and this to finish off the Ashiok. Yeah, I think I'm fine with just like turning on my fetch lands and like getting some degree of use out of this card. That's fine. Like, I'm winning this war of attrition, right? So now I will go ahead and cast this on Mark Grave. And since it looks like my opponent is using a bunch of exile-based removal, I'm going to go ahead and just throw a creature in the graveyard so that, like, this can reanimate something if I need another fatty. All right, what you got? Another Arclight Phoenix. That's totally fine. I don't think this is coming in the red zone. No. Let's just go ahead and fetch and thin a tapped land out of my deck here. No. Guard nothing. Another priest. Okay. That just probably means I attack with both. Send them. Like, this forces the chump block here. My opponent goes to 2. Pretty comfortable with that. And then I'll play another one of these. Like, these even have Unearth if, like, my opponent has some sort of weird Pyroclasm effect that would somehow kill the Regisaur as well, but I don't really see that happening. My suspicions that a Leyline hand was really good are absolutely confirmed here. GG's. We're now on the scoreboard. Okay, looks like my opponent is playing a Gigantha deck of some kind. I could, like, go to 8 cards in hand, discard a Terrasque. Goryo's mentions it. I don't think that's what I want to be doing. I think I keep this. The Breeding Pool is probably the worst land here. Like, I only want that for, like, cyclers. I think I can just get a tapped blue source with this. Ooh. Gigantha Affinity of some kind? Alright. Let's see where this goes. I'm, like, very traumatized by Affinity after playing a bunch of Pauper recently. Like, deck's good. Let's see how this turns out. Okay. Reasonable turn 1. I'll just play a Flooded Strand and pass, and then pick up a, I don't know, like a Hollowed Fountain. I could get the Breeding Pool right back. Like, it's blue for Faithful Mending. I already have 2 black sources in hand. I already have 2 white sources in hand. Yeah, I'd probably get that Breeding Pool right back. Okay, sure. So, like, the big question here is, like, what is their payoff card? Like, are they on Nettle Cysts? Are they on, like, are they on Deadly Disputes too? It's a powered up version of the Pauper deck. We'll find out. Alright. If I go to 19, And I'll grab that breeding pool back. I guess I threw that back and then like ended up fetching it. So like I took a damage that I didn't need to do by doing that. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, I'll faithful mending at my opponent's end step, and then attempt to do the thing. We'll see how much stuff my opponent puts into play this turn. Oh, God, we're already at those. Sure. Okay. Oh, we are like foodfinity. Sure. Like, is there going to be like a Nettle Cyst type finish here? Yeah, I'll take my 1. Go to 17. Unfortunately, like, my opponent can block a lot of the Gishath damage. Gishath. Alright, blue, white, mending. I'll discard this. Thoughtseize? Am I casting that? I'm probably casting that. Like, it could just, like, represent a draw, too. I think I don't want the silent clearing. I think I am going to have uses for persistent mana sources, given that I have a Faithful Mending in graveyard. Okay. Let's start here and see if we get to put some stuff into play permanently, or whether or not I'm just getting, like, a temporary buff here. If I just kill 2 of my opponent's permanents and deal them, like, 3 damage, that's not super great for me. My opponent can bring back this Thought Monitor via Blood Fountain in the not-too-distant future. Alright. Go, little dinosaur friend. I believe in you. I absolutely believe in you. They are going for the blocks. Alright. I believe in you. Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards, Friendship Speech. Where's my fucking Terrasque? Come on. Howard. Okay or okay? I'm gonna go with left okay. Alright. I'm gonna regain this life later, so I think I will just go ahead and shock here. And hurt myself. Oh, wow, they have the Oval Chase Daredevil thing in here. Just, like, absolutely increase their artifact count highly. That's cute. I'm gonna have to figure out, like... Okay. That's kind of a good news, bad news sort of situation, huh? So I lose this, unfortunately. My roulette wheel failed me. So my opponent has a Giganta that they can put in their hand. They can activate, whatchamacallit? Blood Fountain. Oh, fuck. 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 I guess I can just read the number that's about to be on here. 12. Okay. 12's a lot. Did my... They sure did. They sure did. Opponent has said oops. I agree. Absolute oops. Alright, tapped land. Play Rotting Regisaur. This leaves me in a situation where I can chump block the Memnite for a turn, because my opponent will certainly have it into lethal range for me. I think even through like a Faithful Mending. And then after I do that chump blocking, I can try to Faithful Mending into a Goryo's. Alright. I've got a chump, otherwise they just activate the cookbook and I die. So is Giganta going to hand here, or is it going to be a Blood Fountain? Oh wait, it requires 4 to activate Blood Fountain, right? Okay, there's the 4th. So they can return Ornithopter Memnite and have 2 different bodies that they can equip with Cranial Plating next turn. Which is problematic because you can move Cranial Plating at instant speed. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I guess they can play Ornithopter, activate Springleaf Drum, play the Thought Monitor, and that's just better. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Bonus deck is neat. Did I end up putting those Stony Silences in the sideboard? I did Kataki's. Those are still pretty good. Okay. So a Nutter Butter's Faithful Mending can win me the game, maybe? No, probably not, right? I mean, I'd probably go for it. So I'm gonna need to fetch here. I can probably only get an untapped land. Grab a Plains. I will Faithful Mending. Get blue. I'll cast my Mending. I've got to discard this and get a Goryo's to have any chance. That does not do it. All right, GG's. Okay. I really, really, really like Kataki, and I think Prismatic Ending is maybe okay. Like, having an answer to that cranial plating is pretty legit. Yeah, maybe I just say, like, screw interaction, and I try to just, like, do my thing and hope it works in some cases. My opponent's pretty good at blocking, which is a problem. I guess Prismatic Ending helps to solve that, but every card that I take out is... On the play, let's just do the Katakis, and then on the draw, I'll probably play some number of Prismatic Endings. Yes. That'll do. It'll absolutely do. So I'm just going to play... I'm actually just going to play Watery Grave here. And then probably just fish out a basic Plains next turn, like, and go just Flooded Strand Kataki immediately. I think Stony Silence would have been better than Kataki in this matchup. Actually, maybe that's not true. My opponent makes all those, like, blood tokens and shit of that nature. So, you know. Well, no, these Katakis are really good. What am I saying? Oh god, this Kataki. This Kataki is so hot right now. Planes, or just take 2 off the Godless Shrine. I could, like, leave myself with more flexibility by not using these. I'll do the 2. I love this card! Okay, just straight up just the concession to Kataki. Okay, memo received. No changes. Let's just draw Kataki. 2 of them, again. And with Kataki and 2 lands. Keep. Now, opponent can do more impressive stuff on the play, obviously. Tapped land is very good for me. I think I'll play a white fetch land. I don't know. Like, maybe there's some world where, like, my opponent just randomly, like, plays a Blood Moon or something, and I want to have a white fetch in play so I can get plains and play Kataki or something. Otherwise, I will just go ahead and grab a dual land of some kind, and then probably shock for Hollowed Fountain. Okay, take your token. How's this one work? It's the treasure tokens, right? Yeah, it's the treasure token one. Sure. Then I'll go ahead and just, like, fetch here. Grab, like, a Godless Shrine. I'm fine shocking here. And I'll play my Kataki. It's real good. Now, opponent does have 2 lands this time, but, like, one of the lands has to pay for itself. Another can, like, pay for a drum or something. This is pretty painful. Interestingly, this is a legendary creature, right? So at my end step, I could return it if my opponent, like, kills it with a Galvanic Blast or something. Kind of wild. Okay, it looks like ultimately my opponent is going to keep their 2... My opponent played that in a way where they... Okay, they're just done. Okay. Kataki is the best dinosaur, absolutely confirmed by this match. Okay, I've got a sketchy one here. So I can turn 1 Thoughtseize myself, put a Terrasque into the graveyard. If I draw a land, I Goryo's Vengeance it, or, like, I play Priest of the Fell Rites and then get it. But this hand does absolutely nothing if I miss on my land drop. I think I'm just going to try to find a more consistent 6. This is slow, but potentially quite good. This gets me blue mana. I can probably just throw back like a Marsh Flats here and call that good. Okay. And it's pretty rough if, like, the Faithful Mending were to get countered, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Misty? Sure. Overgrown Tomb? Sure. Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and just grab a land here. But I wanted blue. Can this be Breeding Pool? I don't know that I want it to be. There's only, like, 1 draw that punishes me for doing that. Sure, I'll go ahead and do this. Okay. This is just going to be land go. My Faithful Mending is currently discarding these 2 cards in a lot of worlds, just so, like, I can get this down on turn 4. Jund might have issues answering this depending on what they're... Oh, not Jund. Oh, we're doing that. Sure. Okay, no Hierarch attack. My opponent might be doing the broken thing that's faster than my broken thing here. Ah, never mind. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I always discard this. Is this better in hand than in graveyard? Probably not. I'll take my value. My girlfriend specifically told me not to reanimate the dinosaurs, but you know, obviously not going to listen to that advice. What I came here to do. Goryo's Vengeance. This doesn't produce blue mana, so I should be in the clear. There's some weird pump spell situations where my opponent can, like, try to stop me from flipping more dinosaurs. Here we go. Epic dinosaur noises ensue. Alright, I get the full 7. What do I get? Alright, I get a Gigantosaurus and a Rotting Regisaur for my trouble. Not bad. Neither of those do trample. This is unblockable. I've done everything that I can do here, and now I lose this creature. That's fine. Alright, opponent, I've got 17 power in play. Can you kill me on your turn 3? The answer is yes in some worlds. Like, I can absolutely die. Like, that creature is unblockable. They need 8 more points of power here, which is pretty doable in, like, 2 cards. Okay. Gonna, like, click on a card here, start paying costs, undo it, and let them continue. Kicked? Okay. Yeah, it's kicked. Alright, do you have another one? I can't stop it here. Yeah, it seems like the answer is yes. Okay, that's 2 kicked vines for exactly 10 infect damage unblockable on turn 3. Okay. I mean, like, we both did degenerate things. You got the other attack step you needed before I did. GG's. Prismatic Ending seems quite good here. Teferi seems acceptable. Do I want the Teferi? Maybe. How would I board if I board 5 cards? So, like, I go down these 2 like I've been doing. And I go down some number of unmarked graves. Sure. I think that's fine. Like, I think the Teferi shutting off, like, my opponent's instant speed trickery is good. Makes my prismatic endings more likely to resolve. Makes some of my other stuff more likely to resolve. I don't know exactly what their counterspell suite is going to look like. Okay. This hand is probably just, like, too slow. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. This hand just has multiple prismatic endings. I'll absolutely keep this. So I'm absolutely keeping at least one ending, a Regisaur. Like, this is how I win. This is how I stop my opponent's stuff. I probably keep both endings. Does that mean that, like, this just goes back? Like, if I keep this, I want to keep this too. Like, is my plan just win with a single 7/6 backed by a couple of prismatic endings? Probably. I probably have to keep both prismatic endings. I can also just, like, bin the mending and then, like, discard this to the Regisaur. Okay, I'm gonna actually do that. Alright, Floated Strand pass. I'll be getting Hollowed Fountain with this. I don't think I get to get cute and play the Breeding Pool this time. It's just, like, way too important to play the prismatic endings. And potentially, like, multiple of them in a single turn in some fringe cases. No paying the life there. It doesn't have any mana up, so this should just be fine. Alright. Goodbye to you. Play this. I've got some gross stuff coming. Like, I have a play now if I don't hit my 3rd land for Rotting Regisaur. I do not like that Inkmoth Nexus. I also don't like that. Alright. Kill Blighted Agent. I probably just have to kill the Blighted Agent. Oh, no to that. Prismatic Ending. Let's go white, black. That's 2 different colors. Junk that card. I hate that my opponent still has something that they can attack with, but I think I just have to, like, accept that. Hopefully I've made it clunky to where my opponent can't, like, both activate Inkmoth and cast spells, or, like, activate the Inkmoth and play another creature. Okay. That's horrifying. It sucks that I have double Hallowed Fountain here. Like, it sucks a lot that I have double Hallowed Fountain here. Wow. Fetching the first one was definitely correct. Second one I drew naturally. Just like doesn't allow me to block black spell this turn because I want to Thoughtseize and Priest, but I can't. I think I need to hope that I don't die. I think if I just play Thoughtseize and only use a single one of my mana in this turn cycle, I just end up kind of falling behind. Like, I think I'm just going to hope that my opponent can only attack me for, like, 5-ish damage this turn. And then, like, Regisaur, discard, Gishath, and Thoughtseize my opponent, and then maybe reanimate this for a win later. Hierarch. Sure, that's not, like, the end of the world, right? I take 2 this turn. That's okay. Discard this. Very awkward card. So I think I go ahead and make my attack here. Crash in for the 7. My opponent will just eat that. Go to 9. I think I have to Thoughtseize them now. Ha 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 hawk. I just like dead no matter what. Scale up sets it to what? 6. That's 6, 7, 8 with Ignoble Hierarch. I'm dead no matter what in 2 turns. Okay, what if I take Ignoble Hierarch? My opponent scales up, and without another green source, they can't kick vines. Oh, okay, so the issue is scale up just kills me, right? So my opponent sets the base power to 6. Noble Hierarch is 7. Inkmoth Nexus in the air is 8. That is just lethal. So because there's 2 scale ups here, I just can't beat it. Well, damn. Okay. GG's. We end up 2-3 in this league. Overall thoughts on this deck list? Honestly, better than I thought it was going to be. I was really worried that this deck wasn't going to work particularly well, and I was going to trip over myself a lot. This is obviously clunkier than like the actual Esper Reanimator deck because like they get to realistically use things like Grief and Solitude in the Ephemerate package in a way that's like reasonable. And one of the differences between like that deck and this deck is that those decks are like the creatures in that deck are in Esper colors. So like when you draw your Archons, you can just hard cast them if that game goes really long. And that's not something I can do here when I try to do this dinosaur thing. But if you're looking to like spin the slot wheels and go and do some silly things, like this is absolutely a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing this league. I boarded out this card every round. I wanted to have some like non-legendary things, and this was just kind of like the 5th one. There's like a 10-10 or an 11-11 that I thought was legal in the format, but it turns out like it just went directly to Legacy that could have gone in that spot. I didn't consider Changelings, so like that if there's some big dumb Changeling, that's something that could go in here. I boarded out the Unburial Rites a lot. I want to have it in the deck. The Patriarch's Bidding was probably cute, but I don't mind like wasting a sideboard slot on having that for some slower matchups where it can just be an absolute banger. I felt like the sideboard was pretty reasonable. It maybe doesn't cover everything, but it covers some things pretty well. And because we're kind of a combo deck that like is somewhat linear, we're not going to want to sideboard a lot in any cases anyway. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Like, should this be in red for some of those other looting effects? Like, we saw the rebound one that one of my opponent was playing. Like, there's other options. Faithless Looting, I believe, is no longer modern legal, so like that one doesn't work out. But yeah, I enjoyed this a lot, and it was fun getting to like shoot some things down with Terrasque. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button on the way out. It helps me out a lot. If you have something crazy you want to see on the channel, that information is available in the video description, as is this deck list if you want to try it out. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!